If we just think about how do farmers normally learn? As they go from village to village, they look over the fence. They see what the other person is doing. They go to the market, have a coffee, have a soda, discuss about the animals. We really believe that when farmers can talk to each other and when they can learn from each other, then there are all sorts of possibilities. So what is great about this decade of family farming is it gives the opportunity, thanks to FAO, to IFAD, and the other organizations involved, to make sure that farmers can learn from other farmers. We play our small role by helping people with video. Video where a farmer shows the thing that she or he is proud of. Things that can be copied, but it then needs translation so that it's available in local languages. Not just sticking to the main languages, which are great in the capital cities, but we have millions of unpaid translators in every family, which are the youngsters helping the elders to understand what is being said. So if we can break down that barrier, find a way of using new technology, working with radio stations to get it done in a nice, friendly way so that farmer inspires farmer. And that can be south-south, it can be farmer to farmer, it can be cross-cutting, as they like to say. It can be looking at things like, how is the climate changing? It can be looking at how can we improve what we give back to the land so that sustainability is right at the heart of what's trying to be achieved during the next 10 years. So the idea of Access Agriculture is that we train teams, maybe farmer organizations, maybe extension agents, maybe NGOs, maybe universities, so they can make farmer-to-farmer videos. So how do they start? Go and visit the farmers, find out what they're doing, what they're proud of, how they've overcome problems, what they want to share with others. So they write a nice script. And this isn't documentary style or a news report. This is for training. And how do people train? Normally just one point at a time. So we make sure it's not a very, very long program, but it's something which is easy for people to follow. Maybe even do a series on different aspects of something like financial planning or growing a certain crop or overcoming a certain disease. When that script is written, then check it with an expert to make sure it's not just gossip. Then the video is done. As you know, if you go onto a farm, you film very early in the morning. Everything is calm. The light is beautiful. The farmers explain what they do and then show it. So it's not just a talking head. It's somebody showing the things that they are proud of. And then eventually it's edited together, so it's easy to follow, and then translated with people in radio stations who can translate in the spoken word. So it's very much a conversation. So these videos are then spread. If people have internet, that's great. But in some places, there's no electricity. So what could we do? One of the things that we've tried to encourage is the use of a smart projector. Works with a solar panel, with a rechargeable speaker, and 200 people can hear and see without distortion in places which are very remote with no electricity, no internet, and not even a mobile phone signal. But still, they're able to get this knowledge from other farmers. So if you're connected, that's great. If you're not connected, let's still find ways of sharing that information in a way which is appropriate. And so it all goes down to farmer helping farmer in a language which is accessible. What we try to do is get some information from the people who have seen. Obviously, if you've got 500 people watching in an evening, then it's difficult, unless, of course, you've got people who are perhaps agricultural graduates who say how many women were watching, how many men were watching, which language were they listening in, what questions did they come up with at the end, because people don't just watch the video like a sponge. They watch and it sparks a conversation. It means that people then work out, of those things that we saw, what things could we copy? Are we going to do it individually? Are we going to do it as a group, as a village, or as a family? These things then really show a difference. And sometimes you do need to go back and find out, just as we did in Malawi, maybe 18 months back, one farmer said, I watched those videos on Chile. They were in my language. Now, I knew I could do these techniques, but I couldn't find any chili seeds. But I knew somebody who had some good chili 80 kilometers away. He went, picked that chili, took out the seeds and set it all up. He then found a place which could buy his chili and process it and give him a good price. And he told this to a conference in the capital city, so people heard that. A year later he came back and he said, it's not just me growing chili now. I've got women groups in 11 villages around who are all growing chili and all making a profit. And what did they do? They didn't just watch me, they watched the video and they were able to copy. We've also had the case where displaced people in places like Uganda have now gone back to the land, but their parents had died. Where can those youngsters get the information? Because the elders are not around anymore. By working with an NGO and with the private sector, there were videos that were shown about how to grow sesame, how to grow chili. And that then gave an income to those young farmers so they could have some cash to pay for things like school fees or for medical emergencies, but then also grow other crops which are useful to them as well. So it's a matter of, if there is information available, why should farmers be cut off from it? Let's find a way that information can be shared with whatever gadget is around, but it's the quality of the information. Farmers do not deserve second best. What we find is that by working with partners who are on the ground, they are the ones who understand what is happening. So you find, as in any community, inspirational farming families. Families who are doing it in the right way. Families who can show things that other people can then copy and adopt. And so it really has been a case of, sometimes it can be a really inspirational government extension worker. Sometimes it might be somebody from the local mosque or the local church. It doesn't matter where the person comes from. The main thing is they have that belief and that passion and the ability to serve those people who are in the community, who are farming to the best of their ability. And when they're doing something which is making a success, they don't want to keep it to themselves. They want to share it. And hopefully others will learn. And by using it in this way, they see other farmers who have devoted their time to show what they are proud of. And then when it comes to them showing the things that matter to their community, again, they can share that in a way which is farmer helping farmer. I think the difficulty up till now is that sometimes the farmer organizations have had what we would call inertia. Somebody becomes the president, sits in his chair, it's normally a him, and waits for people to come and show their deference. But if you're a farmer organization, what do you need to do? You need to be of service to your members. And what do the members need? They need cheaper phone credit. They need better ways of gaining access to small loans. They need some information about how they can do things a little bit better, how maybe they can organize themselves locally a little bit better. A woman's group, a cooperative, a producers association. How can you add some value? How can you do storage? How can you do marketing? All of these skills are not about getting dirty, they're about using the brain, and they're about working with what has been passed on and gaining extra information from others in a way which is accessible. So if you believe as a farmer organization that you can be of better service to your members, then what tools do you have to find? If you just continue to use the language of the capital city, only the guys in suits will be able to understand. If you use the language that people understand at village level, you have a chance of being a good communicator, a good servant, and a very successful farmer organization.